That was a really fast hour and 40 minutes. And I appreciate you all being here. Let me just conclude with this. I want to conclude where I started. I kind of talked a little bit about my mom, and I want to finish up by talking about her, because there's no doubt when anybody is asking to be considered for high office, whether it's the governor of New Jersey or an even bigger job, issues will change and move over time. What you need to know more than anything else is who is that person? You know, where are they from? What are their values? Because you're not going to be able to anticipate every issue that comes across the desk of somebody you elect. I never thought I'd have Hurricane Sandy. Never could have planned or anticipated for that. But it happened. And then you need to know how to react and respond. And the people of my state understood that they had somebody who was strong and wasn't afraid to make decisions and would act and get their hands dirty and be involved, and it gave them a sense of comfort during that period of time. So, my mom is the single biggest influence in my life. To today, she's the single biggest influence in my life. For all the reasons that I talked about before. And I want to put closure on it for you in terms of who she is and how consistent she was to her word. I told you that she used to say this all the time, I need to get this off my chest. There'll be no deathbed confessions in this family. You're hearing it now. It's one of her favorite lines. I can hear it ringing in my ears still. Well, my mom was diagnosed with lung cancer on Valentine's Day in 2004. And her disease progressed extraordinarily quickly. It was very aggressive. And so by the end of April of that same year, she was near death. And I was the U.S. attorney at the time for New Jersey, and I was off at a national conference in San Diego of all the U.S. attorneys. And my brother called me out there one afternoon. He said, listen, Mom's gotten significantly worse, and if you want to talk to her again, you need to get home now. So I took the red-eye flight home that night from San Diego back to Newark Airport, landed, got in the car, drove to the hospital where she was. And when I got there, they had started to give her morphine. And any of you who've gone through this with an ill relative know that that's kind of the last throes. They're in a lot of pain and they're trying to get them comfortable for their last moments. And so she was kind of in and out of things. So I sat by her bed for a while, waiting for her to kind of get with it. And she ultimately did. And she opened her eyes and she looked at me, and this is typical of my mother. She hadn't seen me for a week. No hello, or how are you, or anything else. She said, what day is it? I said, it's Friday. She said, what time is it? I said, it's 9:30 in the morning. She said, go to work. I said, Mom, I decided to take the day off. I'm going to spend the day with you, so don't worry about work today. She said, Christopher, it is a work day. Go to work. I said, Mom, listen, what? You worry about not getting your taxpayers' money's worth? Like, I'll make up the time. Don't worry about it. And she reached over, she grabbed my hand, she said, Christopher, go to work. It's where you belong. There's nothing left unsaid between us. She was saying goodbye. She was giving me permission. And she was right. There was nothing left for me to say. We had said it all. We had said it all in our lives. There were no secrets between us. There were no hidden angers or loves that hadn't been expressed. There wasn't any of that. I looked at her and I knew exactly what she meant. And so I gave her a kiss and I said goodbye. And it was the last time I spoke to her. I went back to work. She went into a coma that afternoon and she died a few days later. And I have no misgivings about that. And I know that if she were alive today and were here for this, her son in New Hampshire at a town hall meeting talking about all these issues, the one thing she would say two things to me. The first thing she would say to me is, listen, buddy, don't get too big for your britches, okay? I changed your diapers. I remember you when. Don't you get too big with me. The second thing she would say to me is, in a trusting relationship, Chris, you owe people everything that's in your heart. And in New Jersey, for right or for wrong, I've always given people everything I've got. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. But I know that's what my mother would have demanded of me. She said, these people trusted you with the most important job in New Jersey they can give you. You need to tell them the truth in response and let them know who you are and what you think. So when you're trying to get to know me, if that happens over the course of the next number of months, remember that. Because those are the things that guide you. Each of you has a story like that about your mother or your father or a grandmother or grandfather or an aunt or an uncle or a brother or a sister that helped to provide to you the foundation of how you conduct yourself, who you are, how you make decisions, how you react under stress and strain, how you express joy, how you make a difference in the lives of the people you love and the people you respect. That's what it's all about, everybody. That's what life is all about. And so as we talk to each other, as we engage in conversation, you need to know where that conversation comes from. That's why I like to do this. Because in this kind of interaction that's completely unscripted and you have no idea what the heck anybody's going to ask you, think about this. We've gone from Iran to Cuba to vaccines to Medicare and Social Security. We've been all over the place in an hour and 40 minutes. What an amazing opportunity. What a great country we have. And I am so lucky to be able to come up here and that all of you would take the time to pay attention to this. I appreciate it very much. I'll be back on Friday. We'll see you all.